Hello and welcome. We're here in Adam Street and I'm here with Simon Porcktor, founder of Speed Data and Adventura and more recently housebytes.com. He's here to talk to us a little bit about his serial entrepreneurship and being an entrepreneur and what it means. So, hello Simon.
Hi Mark.
How are you doing?
I'm okay, yeah.
Good stuff. I mentioned the previous two sites that you set up and founded.
Yeah.
For those of us who aren't familiar, what were they and what do they do?
Speed Data, well, I think the name says it on the tin, except it was actually like car phone warehouse. It wasn't the bulk of our business. It evolved into other things, but it began as a little speed dating company. What I first thought would be, just like running a Tupperware party in my spare time. And I think within a few days we realised it was a business of its own. But we began with speed dating in London and then got it across the UK and then across 7 other countries. And it was a great little company. It was of revenues of probably around about 1.3 million, but then we evolved into online dating, and that's kind of where we really made our money. But speed dating was always the bit that interested the public, the PRs, and so it gave us a nice little high street presence.
Oh, right. So how did you go about setting that up then? Was that something, were you in kind of online business before?
No, I tried my hand at a few little things before, but no, I was working at a publishing house. I'd heard about it loosely in the States, and I was telling a friend about it, and I said we should go along to one.
Yeah.
That's literally how it started. I remember the chap, and I hope he doesn't watch this because he never paid him or anything, but he always says, why give the money to somebody else when you could do it yourself?
Yeah.
So I did, and it was that simple, and it was a really, really easy. Well, nothing's easy, but in terms of how I started it. I just built a little website, no events or anything like that, just to see if it would generate interest. Coming soon, speed dating in London, and I think within 2 days, search engine optimization was a lot easier then. I think within about 2 days, I had a flood of emails. When are you launching? When are you launching?
Really?
And I just didn't know what to do because I had a job, and did I want to take the risk for something that I still thought Tupperware party mentality? Could it be big? So I kind of put a quick business plan together and threw it out to a few friends, family, and the vibe was good. So yeah, I still actually kept my job, not for much longer, through no choice of mine.
Yeah.
But I did get it going. Got a test event up because I worked in publishing. I had a lot of press contacts, and I effectively spammed them all. And I had an email from the Daily Mail very shortly saying we'd like to cover this. BBC were launching a new channel called BBC Choice, which became BBC Three, and they said they'd like to film it. Oh, this is interesting.
Wow.
But of course, while I still had this job, the articles came out, and there was one day we were page 3 of the Daily Mail.
Oh, really?
And because it was a publishing company, press releases were landing on my colleagues' desks, and I came out to say, look, the boss is going to find out soon. This landed on our desk this morning. So I went to see him and said, look, I'm doing this, I don't want to leave. And he said, no, I understand. And then the next morning I was escorted off the premises.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But it worked out well. He gave me a cheque that was far too much than I deserved, but he didn't want any trouble. Wow. And that was my funding.
That's amazing. Well, it sounds like you kind of fell into it in a way. I mean, you had an idea and you went with it kind of half, and then it just took off, and then... Yeah,
there were a few struggles. I think we realised further down the line, we weren't the first, and it's how can we get more people using it, and the same with Housebytes and any new business. The first 6 months marketing are not ROI. It's really purely educational. Your ambassadors are the actual customers, not the visitors, and so you've got to get lots of bums on seats before you really get any good word of mouth. And that was a struggle. And I think one thing we learned, I got an ex-colleague, Ben Tisdall, involved. And one thing we learned very quickly that the others didn't is that this wasn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It was, let's reinvest everything we've got into this, and let's listen to the customers, and let's test. And I just don't think anybody really got that else in the industry. And it was a different era. This is back in 2002. We were on dial-up machines. We took bookings by phone for people that didn't have the internet, and we'd post them their results. So the whole market. It was the year that AdWords launched.
Right, okay. So it's a long time ago. I mean, 2002 seems to me like yesterday, but actually when you think about it, the pace of technology is so quick that you can be left behind very easily. Do you think it was maybe, I hesitate to use the word easier, but do you think it was there were less obstacles in your way back then?
Well, I do. I think everything you read now suggests otherwise. You read every little VC's blog saying how easy it is now to set up an internet business. I think maybe setting up them was easier, but getting traction now against your competitor, or getting overall market share now, is a lot harder. I think there's a lot more one-player markets now, and there weren't before. So our big kind of focus on Housebites is how do we become that real senior player. We didn't feel we needed to worry about that. We felt in 2002, the more players in the market, the more it would educate the category that we were in. Whereas I think now with Twitter and Facebook, which is how we're getting our buzz at the moment on Housebites, it's going right through the internet community, and also, well, that's a good idea. We should do that. And we know somebody is building what we've built right now.
Right, really.
So our focus has got to be how do we capitalise on this, own the sector, build the trust, so that we want to make it hard for anybody else. We wouldn't be a realistic business if we were saying, hey, come on, everybody else try it.